the party master on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.
It is, in fact, the first Wednesday that we're getting a chance to do this new segment, which is 7 o'clock until 11 o'clock. And it feels good to be here one more time. Brilliant sunshiny morning in capital city Kingston. And I suspect it's similar right across the island. We've got no reports of any inclement weather like we got out of Montego Bay recently. 7:10 in the AM. It's time now for headlines across the bridge. And we start with the local stories. From the Gleaner we glean. Weather, staffing, hiccups delay reopening for 4 schools. Dr. Michelle Pinnock, Regional Director of the Ministry of Education's Region 4, is confident that there will be no major fallout despite 4 of the primary schools selected for reopening on Monday being forced to remain closed as a result of inclement weather. Pointing out that the schools will get updates from the ministry as needed, Pinnock noted that the students would have still been able to participate in online classes as they have been for the past 18 months as a result of the pandemic. Of the 48 schools that were supposed to open, only 44 were opened, and that was because of the weather. Monday's learning resumption was just for face-to-face classes, as we will still have the other modalities going on to include online classes and learning kits, so I do not think there will be any big issues, said Pinnock. While we have some issues, we would have been able to facilitate learning by using the Google Classrooms, printed materials, and broadcasts. Most of these schools have their WhatsApp groups and school management systems, so we ensure that we send out timely information to them, said Ms. Pinnock. And from the Observer, share dive. That's the headline. Airports Authority, NMIA boards resign. Montego says no rush to sell First Rock stake despite price plunge. Transport Minister Robert Montego yesterday sought to reassure the country that the Airports Authority of Jamaica, the AAJ, and the Norman Manley International Airport, NMIA, will not be rushing to sell their plummeting 28.5 million shares in First Rock Capital Holdings amidst growing controversy over the investments. Additionally, he said, the boards of both entities are to be dissolved after members offered their resignation en bloc, even as he pointed out that the outgoing board is not the same one that approved the 2 investments. Montego said the investments, which have been the subject of controversy since July when questions were tabled in the House of Representatives about them, are being reconsidered given what is now in the public space. The shares were acquired in 2 separate deals a year apart, January 2019 and 2020. The first, a private placement, and the second from an initial public offering, IPO, on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The AAJ and the NMIA now own US 2.9 million shares in the private entity. Let's swing over to the Caribbean right now, and St. Lucia is where we're headed. St. Lucia gears up amid COVID-19 worries and festive season. The story says the Ministry of Health and Wellness and Elderly Affairs, in a statement yesterday, said it continues to manage the 4th wave of COVID-19 in the country, reported from July 25, 2021 to present, 7,208 cases at an average of 69 cases per day. The report presented by Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar George disclosed, we have also carried out over 31,600 tests. 50% of the diagnosed cases are in the age group 25 to 49 years, and 56% of the cases are female. At present, we have 309 active cases in the country. The majority of the cases are from the Castries, Gros Islet, Volfort, and Bobino districts. The daily infection rate of the past week was 11.5 per 100,000 per day, which is a 4% decrease from the previous week. And it also says we note that we have reached a slow rate of decline as at this point with a present rate of transmission of 1, that should be 1.0. All right, our final story in our headlines. Z says China is ready to work with the U.S. as Biden meeting planned for next week draws near. China is ready to manage differences with the United States, the country according to the leader of China, in a statement yesterday ahead of the planned virtual meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden. The meeting, the first since Biden became president earlier this year, will be held as early as next week, a source familiar with the planning of the event said. However, specific details and firm date have yet to be laid out. News of the meeting arrangement was first reported some time ago by Bloomberg. It comes as China's president hinted at a slight warming of relations with the U.S., according to a statement published on the website of the Chinese embassy to the U.S. on Tuesday. All right, so we'll continue to monitor that development and see how that pans out. Brings our time now to 15 minutes on the downside of 7 o'clock. It's a Wednesday morning. My name is Richie B. It's now a minute after the hour of 8 o'clock. It's Wednesday morning, and at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday, you know we have our very special feature. And so we'd like to say welcome to Real Estate Today, brought to you courtesy of Howard Johnson Realty Limited of unit number 15 in the Ligony Post Mall at 115 Hope Road in Kingston. Of course, this morning, as we have been telling you, we have the topic, the role of the real estate board that we'll be looking at. And just before I introduce and welcome our guests, I want to tell you that the real estate industry comprises a wide range of professionals, including brokers, there are agents or salesmen, there are dealers, also property managers, developers, appraisers, and more. All professionals in this industry are held to very high standards under which they must conduct their business, and they are in fact governed by the Real Estate Board of Jamaica. So joining us to discuss this topic, the role of the Real Estate Board this morning, we have in the studio, as per usual, Howard Johnson Jr. Good morning, Howard.
Good morning to you, Richie. Morning.
How are you today, sir?
Boy, I'm alright, you know. I wanted to say my wife might just say you have a permanent address though, not the original. Come there upon the streets with shares last night and first thing this morning we're there again. So I know the thing said.
Yeah, it's a good look. Thank you so much for joining us, man. And morning, Shells. And we're also joined at this time by Mrs. Sandra Garrick, who is the CEO of the Real Estate Board and also of the Commission of Strata Corporations. Good morning, Mrs. Garrick.
Good morning. Good morning, Richie. Good morning, Mr. Johnson.
Morning, Mrs.
Good morning,
Garrick.
Jamaica.
So glad that you could join us this morning. We haven't done this in a minute, have we?
Have we? And not as often as Howard.
Certainly not. But you're always welcome, and you know that.
Thank you.
Now, what would you say then are the main roles and responsibilities of the Real Estate Board, Mrs. Garrick?
Well, the Real Estate Board was actually set up to protect purchasers in prepayment contracts. That's those who are buying development before they're constructed. So we regulate real estate developers. We regulate real estate dealers and salesmen. And just for the information of your listeners, the term dealer is an English terminology which is equivalent to brokers in the U.S. So you'll see they'll use both terms. And we regulate salesmen, which we refer to, which is an English terminology, but the American equivalent is agent. So we regulate both groups, and we regulate developers. We hold them to ethical standards. So both groups have ethics that they have to abide by. And as the new board is in place, we just want to point out that the board is getting sterner on compliance with all the laws.
We're glad to hear that. We are, in fact, glad to hear that. I wanted to go back to something you said earlier, though. And if you can, would you tell us the difference between a real estate dealer and a real estate salesman?
Okay, thanks. Okay, I'd be happy to inform Jamaica. Real estate dealers actually operate their own shop. They are the ones who are responsible for the activity of the whole dealership. And the salesman or agent should work with them in the capacity as an associate. So they can't operate on their own.
Okay.
And this is why we insist that advertisements from the salesman must bear the name of the dealer with whom they're employed or associated.
Okay, and you say must.
Must.
I heard the stress on that. I'm going to bring Howard in at this point. While we're talking about titles and terminologies and so on, the terms broker, Howie, versus realtor versus real estate agent. We know that they're used interchangeably here, but are they the same? Tell us.
They're not quite the same, and as Mrs. Garrick mentioned earlier, the Real Estate Dealers and Developers Act does speak to a dealer, and she clarified that that's also akin to a broker, and it does speak to salesmen, which you will now refer to as real estate agents. But when you start to get into the terminology realtor and realtor associate, now that is a title given to persons who are members of a local association that is affiliated with the National Association of Realtors operating out of the United States. And the Realtors Association of Jamaica, they are one designated body by the NAR for persons who are members of that association to now take onto themselves the title realtor, as in broker, and realtor associate, as in real estate agents.
Okay. Mrs. Garrick, as it relates to real estate dealers, how does the real estate board sort of facilitate qualified learning? And there's a new term I'm going to introduce to some of my listeners, upskilling for the real estate dealers.
Well, currently, the Real Estate Training Institute offers courses for persons who would like to upskill. So the first thing they offer is the Real Estate Salesman or Agent course. And then 18 months after you have practiced, you're allowed to apply to do the Real Estate Dealers course. That course is a 6-month course. And once you're successful in that course, you're required to do an apprenticeship, because we don't assume that everything is passed on through the books and formal learning. So sometimes another dealer has to give you the opportunity to understudy him or her to know how to properly run a real estate dealership. And so the board supervises that period of attachment, and at the end of the attachment, they determine if that person has performed successfully.
Okay. As it relates to, and I'm sure that a lot of my listeners are waiting for me to ask you this one, as it relates to developers and their operations, can you say what governance the real estate board has over these entities and individuals?
Well, I'm very glad you asked that question, Richie B, because sometimes the public mix up the role that real estate board is required to play.
Yes.
The real estate board is not required to look at the quality of the development or to ensure that approvals are adhered to. That is strictly the purview of the municipality. That is the KSAC or the St. Catherine municipality. That entity that gives that approval. What the real estate board is required to do is to ensure that contractual obligation between the developer and the purchaser is actually honored, or the contractual obligations are honored. So it is important to us to first register the real estate developer to ensure that proper due diligence is done of him to determine his financial soundness, and also that he's fit and proper for persons to enter into real estate transactions with. Once the registration is done, we look at to ensure that all the approvals are in place. Then we advise members of the public that it is okay to enter into contracts with each person. And that is important because it protects the purchaser.
Absolutely. I was just about to say it's a very important role that you perform. I want to bring back Howie here. Howie, as it relates to a licensed realtor and broker, what would you say are your assigned responsibilities to the real estate board itself?
Well, we are responsible to ensure that the persons who are attached to us as in agents, that they're complying with the Real Estate and Dealers and Developers Act. They're also, adhering to the governance structure, and it extends to, as was indicated earlier, the Proceed of Crimes Act, where we have to do our due diligence on our customers. So the brokers and dealers have to ensure that they are compliant as an entire brokerage. We also have to upskill, which is our CPD, continuing professional development. We have to ensure that we continue to better ourselves and adhere to all the policy documents that are issued by the board and the guidance that is given, primarily through the Real Estate Training Institute as well. We have to do our reports, and we have to make our books available if an inspector wants to see, what it is that we're doing, because we have an ultimate regulatory responsibility to the real estate board, and we have to make sure that we are compliant. So it's really just whatever it is that their remit is with the Dealers and Developers that we are complying, and we have to report accordingly.
All right. Yes. We're over time, but I'm going to ask Mrs. Garrick one final one, because I think this is also important. We know, Mrs. Garrick, that the Real Estate Act, in fact, governs the board's authority and operations and all transactions and so on, as well as whatever the professionals are doing in the industry. Are we to expect any changes to this act anytime soon? Is it under review?
It's currently under review, and the review is far advanced. So yes, and the changes are fundamental.
Okay.
Because whatever areas we saw that needed to be strengthened are in fact being reviewed for strengthening.
Is there a timeline on when it might be ready with this update?
It is difficult to give a timeline because of the passage of legislation, but I would say, to give you an idea, we are at about the third or fourth bill, which means that once the board of directors signs off on the bill, it will then start the process through Parliament.
All right, sounds good. Howie, at this point, a tip maybe? A tip of the day?
Yes, well, it's simple this morning. If you're looking to purchase units in Jamaica, and especially for your listeners in the diaspora, be sure to contact the Real Estate Board, and you can do so by calling them or visiting their website before getting involved in a transaction. And this is to ensure that the developers are in fact registered and operating above board. No pun intended.
And you know that Mrs. Garrick has no difficulty with
I'm sure.
that tip.
All I'll say to that, Richie B, is amen.
Amen is what she'd say to that. Now then, Audley, your voice is ready. It's time for
Going but Not Yet Gone. All right.
Over to you, Howie.
Yeah, so we introduced a property in this small complex before, and we're bringing another unit, a comfortable and spacious one-bedroom flat.
One down, one to go.
Yes, sir. Located in Valley View Crescent in Montego Bay. And it offers beautiful views, as the previous tenant can attest to, of the valley and also of the hills. And the unit is perfect for a single person, a single professional. We're asking only $46,000 per month for this property, and you may contact our agent or realtor associate, now that you know the title, Narda Sterling. She can be reached at 876-419-6249. That's Narda Sterling, 419-6249, or send her an email at narda@hjrealtors.com.
Good luck with that one, Narda. And all the contact details for Howard Johnson Realty.
Unit 15, Ligony Post Mall, that's 115 Hope Road. You can contact our offices at 876-620-1457. Visit our website, www.hjrealtors.com. Social media or username at HJRealtors.
Howie, thank you so very much. Thoroughly enjoy the program. Much appreciated.
Thank you,
thank you, Mrs. Garrick, CEO of the Real Estate Board and the Commission of Strata Corporations, for your participation. Don't stay away for so long again, all right?
It was my pleasure, and I won't.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. All right, that was Real Estate Today. Join us again next Wednesday morning at the same time, 8 o'clock in the morning, when we'll do it again for you with interesting information in relation to the real estate industry. Have a great day, Howie and Sandra. Talking about global catastrophe, just before we go to the For the Love of Health feature, I'm picking up a story that says a baby was recently born with a human tail. And it was successfully removed, we understand, thanks to doctors at the Albert Sabin Children's Hospital. According to a pediatric journal, a baby boy in Brazil was born with a human tail, in addition to being born prematurely at 35 weeks. Born to a mother who was previously described as healthy and who didn't drink, it's reported that the mother smoked 10 cigarettes a day during her pregnancy, but did not do any illicit drugs. Oh, that's a strange one, isn't it? Glad that it was successfully removed, and we hope that that baby's on to living a healthy and a happy life. Our time has moved on now to 8:30 a.m. And the whole matter of this human tail situation, persons are messaging me. Richie, did you say human tail? Well, so I did a little check on Google, and it's really a situation where the person would have been born with a little an extension of the body that looks like a tail. So that is really weird, Sat. So it is referred to as a human tail. Okay? Consider yourself fortunate that you weren't born with that kind of situation. So just give thanks and go through. Say it? All right, now it's time for, what we call it? Secret Sound Game. That's where we're at. It's now time for us to give away some money. $99 US in the jackpot. In addition to that, 6 times $99 Jamaican. It only happens on Bridge 99 FM, and it's the only dual currency money giveaway on radio this side of the world in this hemisphere. We've got our callers lined up, and so you can call us if you want to participate to get a chance to win this money. 876-676-4996. Can I repeat the number? 876-676-4996. Time now for the Secret Sound Game, but first listen to the sound that you must identify. That is the sound, ladies and gentlemen. Give us a call right now. Get busy. 876-676-4996. Good morning, caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Richie.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Cunis from St. Elizabeth.
Cunis out of St. Elizabeth. Cunis, I didn't recognize your voice this morning at all. But it's good to have you on the program once again. You've been trying real hard, and I hope today's your lucky day. You've heard the sound. Do you want to hear it again, or do you think you have the correct answer?
Let me hear it again.
Let him hear it again. DJ, let's play it. That is the sound, Cunis, that we want you to identify for $99 US and 6 times $99 Jamaican. Cunis out of St. Elizabeth. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have your answer, please?
I think it is an hedgehog.
A hedgehog?
Yes.
A hedgehog, you're saying, makes this sound?
Yes, Richie.
You sound convinced. You sound convinced that it's a hedgehog that's making that sound.
Yes, I think so.
The way you sound, you're almost convincing me. That is the sound of a hedgehog. But man,
I convince you.
You gotta try a little harder because that is not correct at all. I will say that you are putting some work into it, but a little more work might get you to the winner's enclosure, Cunis. Thanks for trying this morning.
Okay, Rich.
All right. Hey, Richie, you know what it is, right? No. So what if Jody has to rush out of the studio one more because she's holding it onto her chest? So what if she disappears on us for something and it's time for the game and we don't know what the answer is? All right, let's take another call right now. Good morning. You're on the air. This is Up and Go. You're on the bridge. Good morning.
Hi, Richie B.
What's up, boss? How are you doing?
Yeah, man, they are doing good, man.
You're in St. Elizabeth?
Yeah, man, you recognize the price.
One and only Melvin, man. He's hard working at this, but let's see what happens today. You've heard the sound many times, Melvin. What is your answer? What is your answer this morning?
It sounds like a little bird, where we call it the ants picker down at St. Elizabeth, yeah. They go in the tree and pick off the ants them off a tree.
You call them the ants picker?
Yeah, we don't know if they call it different name in the city still, but that's how we call them at St. Elizabeth.
And you're not making you're not making reference to the woodpecker?
No, sir, the woodpecker are the one that will bite the wood, them, and they want to eat ants, man.
What you say?
Look at bird, then they have some green color mixed up like.
Ants picker.
Yeah, we call it ants picker.
No, it is not the ant speaker. Neither is it the woodpecker. Oh boy, man, oh man, nobody's coming up with the answer at all. And some of them are taking us into some weird places with the way they answer this question. I didn't believe that would have happened. All right. 21st Century Radio, what it is what it is. 25 now before the hour of 9 o'clock. Let's take one more call as we try to extend the feature because we really want you to win. Going in for $99 US and 6 times $99 Jamaican. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Richie.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, who's calling?
Sharon.
Sharon?
Sharon.
Oh, Carol.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from, Carol?
Boys Content.
Boys Content. Nice hearing from you. Is it nice and beautiful up there today?
Sure.
Okay, hope it's going to be a great day. But before that, you can start it off beautifully if you give us the correct answer to our secret sound game. Do you have it?
Someone like a little mice.
A little what?
Mice.
Oh, like a little mouse.
Yes.
Okay. You sticking with that answer?
Yes, it's like a little mice to me.
She says it sounds like one is a mouse and more than one would be mice, right? So you're saying it sounds like a little mouse. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Have we ever had a winner from Boys Content? We haven't. Carol!
Yes, it's true.
Did you say you're in Boys Content?
Sure.
And your answer is?
Sound like a little mouse.
A little mouse, she says. Well, Carol, mouse or mice? You're wrong, baby. You're wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Carol. That is not the correct answer. No winner from Boys Content this morning. No winner from St. Elizabeth either. And we get a chance to try tomorrow morning. Remember, it's going to be 7 times $99 Jamaican and $99 US. That is what we'll have in the jackpot tomorrow morning, as it seems like we're bowling everybody. I think after a week we will be giving you a clue. So we're working on that to make it a little easier for you. But until that time, keep working on it. It's now 23 and a half before the hour of 9 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, it arrived in my inbox last night. Upon my request, the big man, the chairman of the board, has responded positively. And so has his collaborator on their new song. I do now have the pleasure of playing a brand spanking new jingle that I received from none other than Mr. Beres Hammond.
You're listening to Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go on the bridge to the world. My name is Beres Hammond, endorsing that. Big up yourself, Richie B, once again.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been determined and the announcement has been sent into us. Well, in fact, the information has been sent into us, and they've asked that we mention it this morning at this time, with many other such highly rated radio stations around the world. So now is the time that we're going to drop the news to you that the People magazine has now named the 2021 Sexiest Man Alive. Now, you might recall that past winners included the likes of, there was John Legend who won it, Dwayne Johnson has won it, Chris Hemsworth, so has Idris Elba, Adam Levine has also been a past winner, Channing Tatum, and David Beckham. If you recall, they've all won it before. Well, this year's winner says, I figure I'll be on a lot more yachts. I'm excited to expand my yachting life, and I'll probably try to get better at brooding in really soft light. He says, I like to ponder. I think this is going to help me become more inward and mysterious, and I'm looking forward to that. Who am I talking about? This gentleman, upon getting the news, says, I do have an awareness enough to know that when people hear that I'd be picked for this, they would say, what? This is not false humility. There are so many people that should get this before me, said the very humble actor who has been adjudged the winner for 2021. So, before I call his name, let me just tell you that he has performed starring roles in Marvel's Ant-Man films. 40, This is 40, and Clueless. And this morning, I'm trying to do it at a specific time because top radio stations around the world are doing it at exactly the same time. So if you feel like I'm stretching, it's because I'm trying to make it sync with or other international counterparts. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my duty to announce that the 2021 Sexiest Man Alive, that award goes to actor Paul Rudd. Give him a round of applause. Maybe right now he's singing, "Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble." Congratulations, Paul. Do you have him on the phone? No, not yet. We're working on that. Congratulations, Paul Rudd. Named the 2021 Sexiest Man Alive. And let's see what he does with that. It's now 6 minutes before the hour of 9 o'clock. And this morning we're joined at this time by the manager of the National Certification Body of Jamaica. That's the NCBJ. And she's going to be telling us about World Quality Week and their certificate handing over service, which happens, we understand, sometime today. We're pleased to be joined at this time then by Mrs. Navina Wellington Ford. Good morning, Mrs. Wellington Ford, and welcome.
Good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Happy World Quality Week.
And the very same to you. And that is where I'd like to start. What is World Quality Week?
World Quality Week is being celebrated as a way to highlight and identify quality practitioners. So those are persons that conduct audits, that implement standard or implement a management system in a company, those that are in the trenches, so to speak, as we look to implement standards and move forward the conversation about standards and quality and certification. So it's a flagship program on an international space that celebrates and identifies companies and implementers of standards and management system leading towards certification.
So this is a celebration that has been in place for what, several years now?
Yes, several years. It is it's in the international space, and the National Certification Body of Jamaica, as a certification body here, we provide quality management system services, and as such, we lend our support to this campaign. We are considered a quality ambassador or a World Quality Week ambassador as we push forward the conversation about standards, implementing a system, and getting certified.
All right. So, Mrs. Wellington Ford, what can you share with us this morning about the National Certification Body of Jamaica, the NCBJ? Tell us a little bit more about that body.
We're a very proud Jamaican company. We consider ourselves homegrown, and we are doing big things here in Jamaica, in the region, and also an international space. I say this because we are an accredited certification body, meaning that each of the certificate that we issue for a management system certification has international acceptability and recognition. We are accredited. We offer management system certifications such as ISO 9001 and also ISO 22000, which is these are management system certification or standards. So we support the creating an enabling business environment because we offer these certification to business, service, or manufacturing, small or large, it doesn't matter. These systems can help a company to increase their efficiency and effectiveness.
Sounds good. So here we are in World Quality Week this week. What is the theme and what are some of the activities during this week?
So the theme this year is sustainability, improving our products, people, and planet. And who does not want to talk about sustainability. It doesn't matter if it is in your household, at your company level, or the country level. We ought to be focusing on sustainability, and that is exactly what it means. Putting sustainability as a part of your culture, your business culture. How do you move? Look at where you are now and move forward into the future to ensure that your company is there meeting the needs of the customers that you have. So we are celebrating under this theme, and we are doing that by having a certificate handover session for our certified clients, those that are newly certified. We're also having a webinar on Friday where we are speaking about sustainability and in using quality and the business focus. So we have invited persons from industry to come on board with us to have a discussion on sustainability, quality, and what it means in the business.
Mm-hmm. You also have a certificate handing over service that I understand will get underway today. What can you share with us about that?
So we are celebrating our newest certified clients, and we're very proud of them. We have 6 clients that have recently been certified, and these clients are under the ISO 9001 program, and also under some local programs that we have, for example, the HACCP recognition program, and our first organic certified company. That is what we are doing today. So starting at 10, we are celebrating our companies. We are handing over the certificate in a formal official ceremony to highlight them and to celebrate these companies that have been certified. So we have companies such as Ket's Gourmet Farm, who is our first organic client. Yes. We also have the Scientific Research Council, their food pilot plant section has been certified, and a number of other clients are coming on board with us, and as they get certified, as they choose to implement a standard and we get them certified, we will also celebrate and highlight them, because we think that this is a good thing for us to showcase in Jamaica so that they can lead by example and pull other persons, other company to standard implementation and certification.
So this is going to be a proud moment for those who will be certified, and also for you as the certification body.
Indeed, very proud, and that is why we are choosing to highlight them, especially during this World Quality Week, because where else could we possibly celebrate them than in the campaign that is looking forward to build awareness and celebrate quality practitioners. What
do they do with the certificates that they'll receive? Do they display them proudly in their offices and so on? Is that expected?
Definitely. It's a proud moment for them. So yes, they will display them. But not only that, but you find that the certificates that we issue give a market acceptability. So suppliers, sometimes buyers will ask, are you certified? And if yes, you're certified, may I see evidence of that? So the companies that are certified are able to use this certificate, and they're also given a mark of certification. So they're able to use it to leverage the brand recognition and strengthen their brand recognition, because they're saying that through this certification, a third party, somebody that has no linkages at all with my company, came in, evaluated my system against the requirements of a standard, and have granted certification based on me meeting the requirements of the standard.
Is there a need for more certification in our society here in Jamaica, or is it just a desire? And if how do you go about it? Do persons contact you, or do you reach out to individuals or companies for this level of certification?
Okay, I will answer the question, the last part first. Persons, we do both. Persons can contact us at the certification body to say that they are interested in getting certified, and we take them through the steps. Or we also contact persons who we know are in the industry, and there might be a market demand for their products, and we show them that certification can enhance their products in meeting this demand. And certification is, I would say, a 1, 2, 3 process. They apply, we audit them, they are granted, we do our review of the findings, and we grant them certification. Right? In terms of certification in Jamaica, indeed, I would say it is something that is increasing. The demand is increasing, especially if we continue to operate in the global space. And Richie, I don't see us turning back from the global space, right?
No.
So definitely certification and the implementation of standards is increasing. Markets are asking you for you to be certified, for you to be operating using standards. For example, the ISO 9001, which is the quality management system, or the ISO 22000, which is the food safety management system. So there is a demand, and more Jamaican population, as consumers and customers, we're asking, is this safe? We could have the conversation regarding food safety. What I'm consuming, is it safe? So definitely I would say that there is a demand and increasing awareness of standards and certification.
All right. Well, it sounds like it's a very important thing to do and to get involved with. Of course, I suspect that a certified company will definitely have greater access to the international markets, and that in itself makes it a very good thing to do, wouldn't you say?
I definitely agree with you.
All right. On that note, I want to thank you so much, Mrs. Navina Wellington Ford, for your time and the information that you shared. And please pass on my own words of congratulations to those who will be certified proudly this morning. And thank you again.
Thank you so much. Happy World Quality Week. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And the same to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Enjoy that chat with Mrs. Navina Wellington Ford, the manager of National Certification Body of Jamaica, the NCBJ. We're going to get to that story about this rapper who has something to celebrate right after we speak with Mr. Stephen Shaw, who is the manager, communication and customer services at the National Works Agency, the NWA. Good morning and welcome, Stephen. How are you doing today?
Hi, good morning, Richard. Good morning to your listeners. I'm not too bad, thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us, man. How severe would you say, Stephen, were the damages caused by flooding in Montego Bay and in Hanover, we understand, on Monday of this week?
It was significant from the standpoint of the weather impacting travel between, say, Rose Hall and downtown Montego Bay, and from the direction of Hopewell towards Montego Bay. So from the North Coast Highway, we had challenges entering the city of Montego Bay owing to flooding on the side of the Rose Hall, on the western side, the eastern side of Montego Bay. And then on the western side, we had a lot of debris, washed down silt, and flood waters impacting the road in the Unity Hall area. We also had some challenges heading from Montego Bay towards Irwin. That's the road from Barnet to Adelphi. That one was impacted. And over in Hanover, we had a few corridors that were impacted by landslides, fallen trees, among other things.
Stephen, I started getting messages, calls, and persons were even sending me videos on Monday morning while we were here at work of what was happening down there. It was quite startling, and it seems like it crept upon our friends down there in Montego Bay, in St. James and Hanover, quite suddenly. We didn't get any notice as such from our weather prognosticators. But are you looking at mostly damage to roadways primarily?
Yes. In terms of from our perspective, because that is really our purview, the road network, and more so the main road network. But Richie, in terms of what happened on Sunday night into Monday morning,
yes,
I believe it would have been a continuation of the weather situation out there from Saturday, because it happened to have been in the west. From Friday, and so on Saturday it rained Saturday afternoon heavily, and most of Saturday night into Sunday morning there was rain. It rained again in the early afternoon Sunday, and that's when I actually left Montego Bay.
Okay.
And so I wasn't surprised when I heard that it was raining down there, because when I was leaving, I saw ominous signs that more rain was going
likely to continue, yeah.
Right.
But it brings us to the question of flooding, though. And I have to ask you, Stephen, how is there any way that we can sort of minimize the flooding that takes place when these heavy rains occur in many parts of our island?
Yeah, we can, and we have been able to mitigate in some respects. But, Richie, I have not gotten the data on that particular rain event. But I would not be surprised if it is one of those that is a bit extreme, because extreme in the sense that in the short space of time, the intensity would have had to be high for it to have caused the kind of damage that we saw. The Met Office usually is in a position to say what the data would be revealing. If we had not been doing work to mitigate incidents of flooding, it would have been far worse. Yes, we had a situation, for example, along Creek Street in Montego Bay, and Creek Street runs alongside the South Gully, and we had a problem at Creek Street because the gully overflowed. There are two catch basins, or whatever it was, trash racks. And whenever these racks become clogged, the water is forced onto the road, and that is exactly what happened. Now, if we didn't have a South Gully, then we'd have been having this kind of a situation more often, and not just this particular time. And I don't recall us having a problem with the South Gully. Certainly this year, but we might have had it last year or maybe the year before. But the frequency with which we have high intensity rainfall, and we don't necessarily see this kind of damage, is a testament to the fact that we have improved our drainage features, and we are improving as we go along. But the fact is, we will never be able to do all that is required to, or all that persons would think that is required for us to mitigate every rain event. No country in the world does that.
That would take a hell of a lot of money.
There you go.
Which we don't have. What about North Gully, by the way, down there in Montego Bay?
Yeah, North Gully, we didn't see a big problem there. But, the North Gully, it does work. It needs some attention. We are actually putting together a program of works to carry out some maintenance activities within the channel of the North Gully. But it's there, and it has functioned. It has overtopped on several occasions, and it's just a fact of the situation there in Montego Bay.
I want to ask you also, of course, the obvious question: what is the estimate, if you have one now, of the damages done on Monday in Western Jamaica?
Yes, I believe we have done. The team in the West would have done a damage estimate, but I can't really speak to that, Richie, because that estimate has to go up the food chain and go to the policymakers before I can speak to what the level of damage was in terms of a financial estimate.
Okay, but it's big numbers, no doubt.
Yeah. Big number.
Okay. All right, Stephen. Well, listen, man, we thank you for the update, and we wish you a wonderful day. Great talking with you as always.
Thank you, Richard.
All right, take care. A chat there with Mr. Stephen Shaw, who is the manager for communication and customer services at the National Works Agency, the NWA. So the big story that I was sharing with you just before I started talking to Stephen, and by the way, thank you, Jody, because otherwise things would have gone a little bit out of the way that they were planned. You picked up, right? So that's why teamwork make the dream work, I tell you. I was about to run with a story, and it has to do with this rapper, female, who has now become, are you listening? She has now become the first black woman with a diamond solo, and that is for a particular song. So it's for a diamond solo song. And she is the first black woman to have achieved this distinction. And let me tell you, she is in a mood to celebrate. She has posted it up, and she wants to thank her Barbs for the support that she has gotten from them. She says, thank you also to Esther Dean, to Kane, to Juice, to Taylor Swift, to Sophia Grace and Rosie, also Ellen, Young Money, Cash Money, and Republic. She says it's not like today where artists can upload a track to DSPs and just count numbers. This one was released before the streaming era, so millions of fans actually, she says, purchased the song. And she says, I'm so grateful for you guys, sending love and blessings your way. Thousands of her fans have in fact stormed social media and have her trending right now on the achievement of Nicki Minaj with this song, which we're going to give you a little taste of, called Super Bass.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.